Hey y'all. All right, today we are talking about Weiser doorknobs again. All right, the reason why is because I've seen a few things online and I feel like I need to clarify that. I've talked about Weiser in several videos before. This one is focused on the old Weiser, which uses the push and turn knob on the inside. When you push it in and turn it, it is locked, and then when you turn the key, it turns a square shaft on the inside that makes the knob pop out and unlocks it. So to take these apart, there is no visible way to take apart the lock. You can identify these again by the square shaft with another square shaft that's spring loaded, and screw holes will sometimes be at the 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock position or the 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock position. And when I say that, I mean position, in case you didn't know, the at rest position where there's no key and it's not turned or anything is going to be a 12 o'clock position. And we can, for purposes of this video, I'm going to mark this so we can follow along. So 12 o'clock position is going to be at the top of the keyhole. So that would make 6 o'clock at the bottom, 3 o'clock, and 9 o'clock, and then 10, 11, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9. That way, if you're looking at the lock in the rested state, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, etc., like the hands of a watch. Yeah. All right, so to take this lock apart, if you look at it, there is no obvious way to remove the knob. If you look in the inside, you can see that it's peened on right here. Do not try to remove that. If you do, you will be replacing this doorknob. So if you don't have a key, you have to turn the cylinder to remove it. So you would have to pick it or bump it or do whatever it takes to turn the cylinder when you don't have a key. Now, there are a couple of ways to do this, and I'm just going to show you the standard way first without the little trick to make it a little bit easier for you. But I have been off of my picking game today, so bear with me just a second while I turn the cylinder. Okay, so we see once you turn the key, it hard stops at almost 3 o'clock. It will not go any further. When this is in this position without this pulled back, the key will only turn clockwise, not counterclockwise. It only turns to the right, and it will hard stop at 3 o'clock. So to remove the cylinder, when once you have it picked, if you did not do the quote little trick beforehand, you have to take and turn the plug back to almost 12 o'clock. You do want to be very careful. It has to go pretty much where the pins are almost about to drop down into the cylinder. So we're like at maybe 12:05. And once you get to that position, this will come all the way out. Once it comes all the way out, turn it back. Turn it to about 4 o'clock and slightly, depending on the age of it, you may have to get a hook pick and reach in there and kind of pull it, or in this case we're just going to use this to maneuver it out, maybe. Okay, but 4:30-ish position, it will come out. All right, once it's out, we will see that the inside is again, a square shaft which activates the latch, a spring, the bar, and a doodad which intersects into the back of the cylinder. So when you turn the key, this turns inside of this. You don't really need to ever mess with this part of it, so when I have gotten the cylinder out, I will set it down. Again, if this has not been removed in a while, you may have to kind of tap it or spray lubricant around the face of it, or even use a hook type pick or hook object to reach into the cylinder and kind of grab behind one of the pins to help you tug it out. But if you're in the 4/30th position, just move your tool back and forth until you feel it give a little bit, and then it should pop out. So if another way to do this, and we'll go ahead and put it back together. To put it back together, it has to be in that same position, 4:30 or about a 9:30, 10 o'clock position, which I will show you doing it the other way. So when you're putting this back together, pull your bar and make sure the little doodad there is, you see it cannot go in the hole there. You want it to go directly down and then sink down as far as it can go. In other words, there's a position right here that it could be stuck in. You want it down to the lowest position there. And you're going to hold tension on that. Line up the top of the Bible with the key turned to the 4:30 or 10 o'clock position. And you want that top of the housing there, that T shape, to slide into that notch in the housing. I've still got pressure pulled back here, and turn the cylinder. By now you have the key. Turn it back to the 12 o'clock position and let this go. It should go in. You can see how far it comes out here in the 12 o'clock position. And check your key, make sure it only hard stops at the 3 o'clock position. So another easier way to do this, or another way to do this, would be to take a pair of vice grips. You can get a fairly cheap pair of vice grips at a cheapy tool store, and pull the bar out of the back, hold tension on it, put the teeth of your vice grips up against the hollow shaft, and clamp down. So what that does is it holds that in that position. Now with it in that position, you can turn it clockwise or counterclockwise. So for this one, we'll go ahead and turn it counterclockwise, or we'll attempt to. And when you turn it counterclockwise, you can also remove the cylinder in the about 10:30 position, as we will see once we get it turned. Okay, I've got it picked, and you see it is turning counterclockwise. I've got it upside down, but it's just to make it easier for me there. So there's our 12 o'clock position, and we're going to turn it to about 10 o'clock and do the same thing, and it pops out in the exact same way. So again, just take your circlip off, your clip there, and rekey it to whatever key you're using, and hold that back. You can either just do this by hand, or you can just leave that clamped up the whole time, but turn your key back to this position. It doesn't matter if you took it out in 9 o'clock, you can put it back in 4 o'clock. That does not matter either which way. It merely has to be lined up with that notch on the inside there. It's a little bit harder to get back together when you don't have the key ready for it. There we go. Turn it back to the locked position and let go of your vice grips. Check your key, should stop. This should turn. Putting it back together, one little hint when you're putting it back on the door, slide this in. Lock the knob before you put this over the shaft and tighten the screws down. It just seems to work better. So push the knob in, turn it fully, and put it over, and tighten your screws. Try your key. If this gives any resistance when you're turning the key, this is one of the main issues with this lock. These start to wear out on the back and it will not pop out. You have to jiggle the key. And the key turns. It's not because it's not the right key, but when you turn the key, that square shaft is having trouble getting this to pop open. Sometimes you can spray lubricant in here and it will ease it. It's always a good idea to do that regardless if you are rekeying somebody's locks. But if you turn the key and this does not pop out, or if you turn the key and it gets really, really hard to pop out and it takes several times of rocking the key to get it to pop out, then it is time to replace the lock, because it will not get better. It will only get worse. And one last thing I would like to point out here is Weiser, W-E-I-S-E-R. Weiser, W-E-I-S-E-R. If you're going to service locks, it's a good idea to know how to spell the most common lock brands in your market. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Y'all have a great one, and we will catch you next video. Your next word is Weiser.
Could you please use that in a sentence?
My Weiser door lock is broken.
Country of origin?
Okay, the country of origin is Canada. Wait, sorry. Yes. Yes, okay, sorry, we have a correction. The country of origin is United States. Sorry, hold on. Please hold. Okay. The country of origin is Mexico. Wait, I'm sorry, hold on. We seem to be having some difficulties. Please hold your response. Okay. Okay. The country of origin is the United Mexican-Canadian border. Behind the wall. Continue.
Okay. W-E-I-S-E-R.
That is correct.
Yay!